Hello, my name is Rick.
Ciao, my name is Millie.
And welcome to episode 9 of season 2 of Yonks Ago. This is Yonks Ago, coming into your ears. Now what are yonks? They're kinda like years. Just a father and a daughter who want to know all about some people from Yonks Ago. Interesting people who did interesting stuff, but about whom we don't know enough. So we're gonna dig deep and find it all out. Yonky doodlers know what we're all about. Yonks Ago. Hey, ho, hey, Yonks Ago. Hey, ho, hey, surely. Here we are in episode 9.
Yeah.
Apologies to all the Yonky Doodlers out there for what was clearly some substandard sound mixing on that last episode.
Bro, I was so loud.
Well, you were probably, you ended up seeming loud because you had to turn the volume so much up to hear my quiet voice. And we apologise for that because Millie doesn't really want to come across as so abrasively in your face. She likes to slide
Usually
in.
I'm quite quiet, actually.
Yeah, but this time it was maximum Millie with a
Sorry about that.
just a tiny little hint of Rick in the background, just whispering along. Look, we have transitioned to using a whole new program to record, and I hadn't quite figured out all the ins and outs.
Yeah, we can't hear ourselves anyway.
Yeah, we couldn't check it on the headphones how we were sounding, but we figured out how to at least do a sound check now with the headphones. We aren't wearing them right now, so hopefully everything's going okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, more apologies will be coming your way, Yonky Doodlers, and it won't be. I mean, how many goes do you give us? How many chances?
Well, I mean, surely 3. It's always 3, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what we've
used one.
Okay.
Because we've had some up and down sound issues, but that was a consistent bummer.
Yeah.
It was hard to listen to, and in fact, I wouldn't blame any Yonky Doodlers if you just turned it off in disgust.
Yeah.
Said, I didn't sign up to Yonks Ago to get my Nancy Wake facts. I'm not here getting woke with this substandard sound.
Yeah, I mean, you are going to be awake after you hear me screaming in your
ears. Yeah. As you keep trying to find the right balance. I need to be able to hear Rick, but Millie's just yelling at me. It's the worst. But once again, it does bring back the need. Maybe I'm just trying to, again, reinforce the need for Millie to study that audio engineering course. And become that audio engineer.
You know what? I can't really do that. Online courses, that's what
YouTube tutorials. Yeah. Mate, I mean, we've only got 2 more chances. I've used up one of our ridiculously bad sound mixing chances.
And you're leaving soon, aren't you?
Oh, well, the clock is ticking.
Yeah. Wait,
for me to Chucky Wake
You said in a couple of weeks. That could be...
I mean, I'm pretty... Time is a construct. Yeah. So I may never leave. But only in the sense that I was never here at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we're caught in the loop.
Stop.
We don't want to send you on another... We like to save our existential crisis to the end of episodes as opposed to the start of the episodes. But anyway, again, apologies. Hopefully you stuck through. If not, here's a quick recap.
So you say apologies, but you wouldn't say sorries, would you?
Sorries.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you some sorries. I'm going to start saying that. I don't see what's
my sorries to you.
My sorries to you? Should we start saying that?
Yeah, maybe.
So all our sorries to you, Yonky Doodlers, for strike 1 in the sound engineering category.
Yeah.
We've got 2 more chances.
So it's category, but could you say like category?
Categories.
Categories. Funny. Anyway.
What category do you think we're in in your podcast? Would you put us in comedy? I mean, we're gently amusing.
History?
We're history.
Yeah.
Hunch
history.
We're educational.
Yeah. Oh, for shiz, mate. For shiz.
Family friendly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not that one episode.
That one?
Yeah.
Which episode? Oh, the adult content episode where Nancy Wake.
I mean, we don't
deal
need
with naked dead bodies.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just going to allude to it.
I was like, you don't need to make 2 episodes. You know?
Yeah, no, I won't bring it all up again because it's all still very fresh in our minds.
Yeah.
And look, but a quick summary, just in case you didn't actually make it all the way through our terrible sound quality episode 8. And the sad thing was, I didn't even realize this is what happens when you just rush out your episode. You don't do a quality check. I think I just listened to the intro, which
I feel it was not as bad as the rest of the episode. I don't know how.
I don't know. Maybe I just started going closer.
Nah,
to
it was definitely a sound. It wasn't you, kid.
Okay.
Hey, you don't need to send your sorries. Not to me. I take full responsibility. I mean, you should have already got your audio engineering
I
course.
think you mean sorries.
Sorries.
In Canada.
And
Canada? No one ever says that.
Episode 8 summary. Because
Yes.
I mean, a lot happened. That's
Yeah.
the sad thing.
No, never mind. I was going to say something that doesn't make sense.
Okay. You need to start committing
Yeah.
real hard. If you're thinking about saying stuff, you just need to say it.
Yeah.
Because
No, it was like, no, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry. Just dumb.
So episode 8, Nancy Wake, she found a way to get overseas because of that sweet Hindermill cash.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
She went to Canada where she was living that she was living large, but she didn't have to live large in Canada because everyone
Yeah.
there was living frugal.
Yeah.
So they were having low cost good times.
Eating the grass.
And then she went to New York, where it was fun times all round in
Yeah.
the middle of the tail end of Prohibition, but the alcohol was everywhere. And Nancy Wake was saying, yum, 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 give me some.
Give me some rum.
Give me some rum, yum, yum. That was the Nancy Wake motto in New York. And she was staying in some fancy accommodations.
Oh, yeah.
Like huge.
Like if, like a 5-star hotel, but like a 6-star hotel.
Probably bigger than what Ella Wake is living in back in Australia.
Yeah.
Like in a little tiny house with
For
all
sure.
abandoned by most of her kids.
Except for
Gladys
good old
and
Stan.
as yet unnamed and Stan.
Yeah.
She's got 3 kids
Yeah.
that we imagine.
Out of, how many were there?
Out of 6. So the 50% success rate.
That's actually not that
That's
bad.
not so bad.
No.
Especially back in the day.
Yeah, especially when one of them died anyway, so that's not your fault.
Rip Chucky Jr., but
Yeah.
no one misses you.
Yeah. Wait, what was the other one?
Stanley, Chucky, Nancy,
Yeah.
Gladys.
Hazel.
Hazel.
She went away to be a nurse.
She did go away to be a
Yeah.
nurse. Good times. So she went to New York, had the best time,
Yeah.
and then took another fancy ocean liner all the way over to England.
Yeah.
and
But
that's
she
when
did not have the best.
that's where the money was starting to run out. She was just
Yeah.
like, I better get some qualifications for when I
Yeah.
need to get a job when all the Hindermower cash is gold.
Yeah.
So she enrolled in secretary. Was it? It's like a secretary course where they
Journalism?
That's it. Yeah, the journalism. I mean, it's called journalism, but essentially, she was learning how
Yeah.
to type and do shorthand.
Yeah.
It was the Queen's College for Journalism,
Yeah.
but they were just teaching her how to record things
Yeah.
quickly and efficiently.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I'll do it. Anna Green Gables went to a Queen's College,
Yeah.
and so too shall Nancy Wake.
For sure.
And that was the gist of what happened in our catastrophically
Catastrophic.
catastrophic sound mixed episode 8. So you're up to speed now. If you didn't make it all the way through, or if you did and you just wanted a reminder, job done.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's all the time we've got for episode 9. So thanks for tuning in, Yonky Doodlers.
Did you say thanks for tuning in?
I probably did,
Yeah.
but hey,
Like joining in and tuning in at the same
for
time?
someone who says category, I don't think you should be picking on the way people pronounce words.
No. I was a bit taken aback. I wasn't expecting it.
Sometimes I get a bit lackadaisical with my enunciations.
Yeah. I mean, I just said expecting, but that's
Yeah.
because it's funny.
You pick and choose
Yeah.
what to mock.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's your prerogative. You're the youth. You're the youth of the future.
Yeah.
Some things are worth mocking. Some things aren't. Get
Yeah.
used to it.
Yeah, that's
Old
fair.
man. Hey, sometimes I say my words dumb, and sometimes
like,
you say them dumb. And
Expecting, like that's like a lot of effort to say, but expecting, like you can just say that.
yeah,
You know?
it's the ease of
Yeah.
pronunciation.
Also, it sounds cool. So
Hey, and if you can't get cool points for sort of mumbling your words,
yeah,
what's the point of even talking?
yeah. What's the other word that I also do? I don't remember.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
I remembered it for a second, but then it went away.
Yeah, that's classic Millie Brain.
Yeah.
But we're here to learn about Nancy Wake. And when we left her, as I just summarised, she was enrolled in Queen's College of Journalism. And at the year's end, when she had completed all her typing and shorthand courses and received a diploma, so she graduated,
Yeah.
flying colours.
Nice.
Nancy Wake did. It was time for 21-year-old Nancy
Whoa, that's pretty old.
to look for a job.
Yep.
And once again, she's off to and she starts thinking about that midwife when she was
Yeah.
born, who's like,
Yeah.
you'll always have good luck, Nancy Wake.
Yeah.
You'll always have good luck. That's on her mind. She's like, all right, well, I'm going to go out there and test my luck.
Yeah.
And she's looking around, and then she gets invited to a serious job interview with a heavyweight from the famous William Randolph Hearst group of newspapers, which was based in New York, but was looking to beef up its European bureau. Now, have you ever heard of William Randolph Hearst?
No.
Basically, the biggest name in media back in the day.
Okay, so it's all right that I don't know him?
Yeah,
it's not like...
definitely not the biggest name now, but historically, William Randolph Hearst was owning everything. You know.
Yeah.
Do you know any of the bigwigs from today in the media empires?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, you know, when you say, "Oh, this person controls the media," like, or owns all the newspapers, or owns all the television stations.
No.
Like, if I said a name like Rupert Murdoch, would that ring any bells?
No.
What about Fairfax? Does that sound familiar? Kids these days, you're not learning about your moguls, your media moguls. But back in the day, William Randolph Hearst was a bigwig.
Yeah.
Owning all the newspapers. And back then, I mean, you might not know it now, newspapers were a powerful commodity.
What's a newspaper? Just kidding.
I wouldn't be surprised,
Yeah.
though. Probably you're in a slight advantage about knowing what newspapers are, because I continue to occasionally buy newspapers. And we also...
No, there was still a thing when I was like a small kid.
Yeah. And I also use recycled newspaper to wrap on like a lot of presents.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. Recycle, reuse.
Yeah, and you get a little bit of news on your birthday. You're like, oh, what was happening when this newspaper was around? Oh, bad news all around.
Yeah.
It's normally... Sometimes when you're wrapping presents in recycled newspapers, you've really got to double check that there's nothing horrific on the page.
I mean, I never read them. I just rip it.
But if there's like a huge headline,
that's
like
fair.
17 dead in school shooting or something like that, you're like, that's probably not the message you want on your present and on your birthday
Put it on the
morning.
inside of it.
Yeah. Turn it inside out, but then you flip it over and it's like
'cause
100 people dead in explosion.
No, you rip it up, then you scrunch it into a ball. So.
Yeah, but when you first get the present...
No, because then you're like, oh, it's a present. So you're not looking at the newspaper.
But if there's a big enough... All I'm saying is you've got to make sure there's not a huge headline with a graphic photo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, that's...
And I do.
Yeah.
And all I'm hearing is that I've done a good job so far, because you wouldn't even think that it's possible, because I've protected you.
I see.
From being faced with such a horrific image on your birthday morning.
Wasn't there something on my birthday? I read out a name and you were all like, ooh. And I was like, I didn't get it.
Can't tell you.
Yeah, I think that did happen.
Good story, well
but
told.
I didn't know who it was, so
Good.
Doesn't matter. It didn't ruin my birthday.
All right. Where are we? Our job interview. Yes. So the first part of the interview went well, and the fellow clearly not only liked the cut of her jib, like Nancy Wake, you're all right.
Yeah.
But was very impressed with her marks at journalism college.
Yeah.
It's like, man, you sure can do the journalisms.
Yeah.
In as much as you can type and apparently can take shorthand.
Yeah.
So Nancy Wake, tick, tick.
Yeah.
And you're very pleasant.
Yeah.
Which is also half the battle in a job interview.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So far, Nancy Wake's killing it in the way that only Nancy Wake can.
Oh, yeah.
When Nancy Wake steps into a room, everyone's like, I like you, Nancy Wake.
Yeah, you're all right.
I like you, except her mum. Yeah. But only because she was blinded by the Bible.
Yeah.
So anyone who's not under the intoxicating thrall of the Bible is able to see...
probably a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as she doesn't wander into a church accidentally.
Yeah.
And Nancy Wake's going to be making friends pretty easy.
Yeah.
All right. So far the job interview is going well. And then the interviewer says there is a couple of things that they're looking for specifically in their new recruits. And he wanted to know if Nancy had ever been to, or at least knew a lot about Egypt.
Oh.
As the Middle East was a growing area of interest at the time, and that would be, it'd be very useful, and would probably land her the job if she was a bit of an Egypt expert. Yeah, and if she didn't know anything about Egypt, it might be
deal breaker.
Thanks for coming. Yeah, no deal. We're looking for someone who knows a lot about Egypt.
Yeah, she doesn't. I don't think she does know.
Yeah, sadly, Nancy knows nothing about Egypt. So it's not one of the many places she's been on her world tour so far.
Egypt, or like F-gypt, am I right?
Yes.
Get it? Because F comes after E in the alphabet.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a funny one.
And then Nancy says, Egypt. I love Egypt. I've been there so many times and I've studied so much about it. I can even write in Egyptian. So she's just she's going big.
She's
she's
no.
She's going, there's not a thing I don't know about Egypt. This is unbelievable. I can't believe you need someone who loves Egypt, because I am basically Egypt's own Nancy Wake. And he's like, oh, you can write in Egyptian. Oh, show me. And she's like, yoinks.
What did she do then?
So what she does is he starts reading. He goes, all right, so I'm gonna say some stuff. I want you to write it down in Egyptian.
Yeah.
And he starts saying stuff.
Yeah.
And she starts quickly writing it down in what he thinks, that looks pretty Egyptian to me.
Yeah.
She's writing backwards, across the page.
Oh, nice.
Very confidently. And it goes on for like 10 minutes because he wants to check that she's not just remembering what he said. He wants to know that she's actually written it down.
Yeah.
And then once he finishes, she reads it all back to him. And he's like, well, you bloody nailed it. You're an expert at writing Egyptian. You get the job.
Back to him in English.
Yeah. It's like he says it. She writes it down in what he thinks is Egyptian, and then she translates. She reads it all back to him.
Yeah.
And he thinks, well, she's written it in Egyptian. She can obviously read Egyptian.
Yeah.
And she's obviously done that because everything she's saying is what I said.
Yeah.
She nailed it.
It would take her a while to like figure it out, and that's like the same because like the word order would be different, so then it wouldn't look sus.
All she was doing, apparently, was writing shorthand backwards.
Oh,
so she was writing it backwards across the page, so it looks more Egyptian-y.
Yeah.
But she was just basically using shorthand, hoping and guessing that this guy wouldn't know shorthand.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have done a shorthand and typing course. He didn't seem to type.
For sure not.
And so she bluffed her way through.
Yeah.
And got the job. By being, very resourceful as usual, but as is the Nancy Wake way, also just being able to lie.
Yeah.
Like, she's quick on her feet, but she doesn't mind a lie. We've seen that time and time again.
Yeah.
Nancy Wake loves a little fib.
She does.
Especially if it's going to sort of, work out well in Nancy Wake's favour.
And she's got luck on her side as well.
She's lucky.
Can't go wrong.
Mate, the midwife predicted it early on. And it has continued to prove to be the case.
Midwife, more like mid-right, because she was right about the luck.
She's 100% right.
Yeah.
She's not even mid-right.
Yeah.
She's maximum right.
Oh, got him.
Yeah. So Nancy Wake says, I wanted the job. Gospel truth, I was so good at that kind of thing, lying, that I should have been a criminal. True. She's very close. Like, only a few different decisions in other directions. Nancy Wake definitely would have been a criminal mastermind.
Yeah.
Happy to lie her way to the top. But unfortunately, not really, but the job interviewer then says there's one problem though.
Yeah.
The boss man, William Randolph Hearst, the American tycoon, despised all things British for some reason. So if she got the job on a 6-month trial basis, she would not be able to stay living in London.
Oh, I see.
Instead, they would want her to move to Paris to work with the European Bureau there and use that as her base to move around continental Europe and the Middle East. And the man's like, does this present a problem to you? And Nancy's like, no. That is going to be just fine.
Yeah.
And inside, Nancy's like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing that's ever freaking happened to me. You're telling me that this is the deal.
She's going to win.
She's going to get paid. They're going to pay for her to live there. They're going to pay her rent in a little Paris apartment. So she'll get a weekly rent stipend, and then they're going to pay her to be a journalist in Paris, and she has to live in Paris, and they're like, is that going to be okay if we pay for you to live in Paris and then we pay you to be a journalist while you're living in Paris? Is that okay? And then she's like, 100%.
Yes, it will.
Where can I sign? And then look, once again, maximum right midwife has nailed it, because this is her first proper job, really, apart from all the sneaky jobs she had back in. She's gone to one job interview, lied, pretended she could write Egyptian.
I swear this is going to come back to bite her, though. Have there been movies made on Nancy Wake?
Yeah, there's a couple. There's a few.
Oh, for sure.
In much the same way, there's been movies made of Ned Kelly.
Ned Kelly, classic.
Yeah, just keep on making them.
Yeah.
There hasn't been that many. They've been
There's a new one
out.
coming.
There is a new one, as we spoke about in season 1. which is going to be exciting, except for, as we've said, the casting of Harry Power. I'm not
Russell
even going
Pigeon.
to go into it. But have a good long hard look at yourself,
Yeah.
Hollywood, if that's who's responsible.
Yeah.
I assume it is.
Just blame the casting director.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Who was probably Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
I'll do the casting for the movie, that's all right, and I've got the perfect person to play old mate Harry Power.
Yeah.
You're looking at him. And everyone's like, oh, I guess so, Russell, whatever. And he's like, I'm also making a Nancy Wake film, and I've got the perfect person to play Nancy Wake. You're looking at him. And they're like, I don't know, Russell.
Maybe Chucky, though.
Russell Crowe as Chucky Wake.
Perfect casting.
Yeah, although maybe in his younger days.
Maybe Chucky Wake Jr.
Yeah.
Because, like...
He's the wrong age to play anyone now. Like,
Well, I guess so.
Like sort of 20 years ago, he would have been the great Chucky Wake.
Yeah, no. I don't want him in any movie anymore. Like, get out of there.
Yep.
I don't want to see your face.
So, look, if you're planning to play Nancy Wake in the Nancy Wake story, Russell Pigeon, it's a big no way from the Yonks Ago podcast.
Don't even try.
And we're heavy hitters.
Yeah.
People listen to us. Don't make us get a groundswell of support against you, Russell Pigeon, because we will.
We'll make you legally change your name to Russell Pigeon.
Russell Pigeon. Everyone will be like, funny name, Russell Pigeon.
Yeah.
And then they'll say, well, we can't let someone called Russell Pigeon play Australia's own Nancy Wake.
No.
I mean, you might be able to play Egyptian's own Nancy Wake.
Yeah.
She's not real. She was make-believe for a job interview that Nancy did many, many years ago.
Yeah.
You want to make that movie? Go ahead, Pidgey. Go ahead. Good luck at the box office. Chances are it'll end up being a hit.
Yeah.
It'll be like the greatest movie ever made. I'll be like, well played,
Yeah.
Pidgey. You rose to the challenge.
Yeah.
And don't I feel stupid? And everybody like, hey, Rick, what's your favourite film? And I'll begrudgingly say, Egyptian's own Nancy Wake, starring Russell Pigeon as Nancy Wake.
Russell Pigeon.
Russell Pigeon.
Is his second name?
His middle name's Cr.
Yeah.
He kept the Cr from Crow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hyphen, Cr hyphen Pigeon.
Yeah,
It was a compromise.
Yeah.
I gave him a little wriggle room. And it worked out good because he made one of the greatest movies of a generation.
All right, well, chill out. He hasn't done it yet, so we can't.
I think we all know he's going to.
No.
Hey,
He's not.
Russell Pigeon, you are tearing this podcast apart because
You said probably. He hasn't even made it yet.
I was just playing. I was downplaying it. I was being like, I didn't want to get people too excited.
Okay. But he has made it yet, and you've seen it.
In my mind.
Oh,
And the cinema of my mind is always excellent.
oh yeah.
My mind theatre is top notch. It's got surround sound
Oh.
and free popcorn,
Yeah, for sure.
caramel popcorn.
Oh.
I've got diabetes of the brain from too
What
much.
do you want? Caramel popcorn. Caramel popcorn gets old after like a couple handfuls.
That's
You want sweet and salty.
But you only ever have. That's why I sell it in 2 handful batches.
Oh.
Just
yeah,
as
but I want
one handful.
popcorn.
Yeah, then you switch to the secondary popcorn.
Okay.
which
But is that not free? Is that free as well?
It's a small surcharge. How's my mind cinema going to make money if I don't charge a little
Well,
bit?
you can charge for the movie itself.
Yeah, I know.
Is that free too?
Yeah, that's free. The 2 scoops of caramel popcorn are free. I had a very lackluster business model when I started my Mind Theatre.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I'm the only customer.
Yeah.
But even
You pay yourself?
yeah. Well, yeah.
you get the
If I want
popcorn?
the extra popcorn,
Yeah.
which I always do,
Yeah.
2 scoops of caramel popcorn.
So do you
is just a beginner.
You got like how much?
I mean,
like $2?
I'm in a lot of debt.
Like $2? You just like you have it in your left hand and you just give it to your right hand?
A small popcorn is $18,000.
Oh.
I wasn't thinking when I priced it, and I owe a lot of money to my Mind Cinema because they keep giving me credit. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll definitely pay you back, brain. And they're like, all right, well, we'll add it to the tab. You are getting in a lot of debt.
Yeah.
So if I end up, if I disappear one time, you'll assume it's because I've Chucky Waked it. But it might be that my Mind Cinema has come to claim the debts that I've been racking
You're
up.
gonna yeet out of there.
Watching Russell Pigeon's seminal classic, Egyptian's own Nancy Wake, on loop. So I'm just in there all day. Whenever you see me staring off into space, I'm just up there.
Oh, I see.
Sucking back $18,000 batches of popcorn and watching Russell Crowe Pigeon dominating the screen as Egyptian's own Nancy Wake.
Does he play every character or is it just Nancy Wake?
It's just Nancy Wake.
I
All
see.
other characters are implied.
Oh.
But that
Is
said,
it
it's like a full cast of characters, but you
is
never
there a
see them.
set? Or is it just nothing?
It's an inflatable set.
Oh.
They said, Russell, you're crazy. He said, am I? Or am I not crazy? And in the end, after I've watched it this many times, I've got to say, not crazy.
Okay. I think you secretly, not even secretly anymore, like Russell Crowe Pigeon.
Well, if you'd seen the movie that I'd seen, you'd have some pretty strong emotions as well.
Well, I'm not going to, to be fair, I don't like Russell Crowe Pigeon that much that I'm not going to make up a film that makes him be good, you know?
All right, well,
so I think
for the sake of the podcast, we're going to have to agree to disagree.
You wanted to like him, therefore you... I felt like
yeah, you nearly fell off your chair. You know why? Because the universe is telling you you're wrong. You're wrong.
I'm just dumb.
No, the forces of gravity united to try to teach you a lesson about picking on Russell Crowe Pigeon. All right? And I hope you've learnt that lesson, Millie. Yeah. I hope you've learnt that lesson. All right? Gravity. You're making an enemy of gravity. You know who isn't a slave to gravity? Birds. And you know how much you like birds.
Not
So
much.
you just better think. Is that why you don't like Russell Crowe Pigeon?
Yeah.
Because he's every version of his name is a bird.
Is there a Russell bird?
Yeah, it just goes into the leaves and just makes funny leaf noises. That's why it's called Russell. Oh, maximum dad joke.
Oh my god, rustling in the bush.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Wait, is that where Russell comes from?
Yeah, everyone whose name
came first?
Everyone whose name is Russell was named after that rustling sound. All right, take a breath. Take a breath. So Nancy Wake is now heading over to Paris to start her life as a journalist.
Yeah.
She's 21 years old. Things are going great. She's made it to Paris, and this is where the meat and potatoes of the Nancy Wake stories.
Oh, yeah?
We have set the scene.
Oh, it's getting hectic now?
It's on the precipice of hectic.
Okay. I like the word precipice.
Yeah, me too.
Precipice.
Because Paris is where it all happens.
Yeah.
But there's a bit of a build up to the hurricane of action that befalls Nancy Wake.
The calm before the storm.
This is a little bit the calm before the storm.
Oh.
Nancy's first times in Paris.
Paris.
As she heads over there. So she moves into a little studio thing paid by William Randolph Hearst. For Nancy, the move to Paris was easy because she didn't have any furniture.
Yeah.
But she moved into this little studio that she could afford on the rent that they were paying for her.
Yeah.
Little place, but she did splurge a little bit more of the Hinamawa cash, the last little bits of it, on a bathtub.
Not even a bed?
I think that she might have...
was that already there?
I think that might have been one of the few things already there was the bed.
Essentials.
And she's like, I'm getting myself a fancy bathtub.
But then do you have to do all the plumbing and stuff?
I think back then either there was set up or you just fill buckets of water. You know? She was willing to do it for a bath because I think that time she spent in that fancy New York hotel with the bathtub.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not going without a bath.
Yeah.
If Auntie Hinamawa wanted me to spend my money on anything, it's this bathtub.
Yeah.
So she moves in. She's got everything sorted out. And from the beginning in Paris, just to lay the scene of her tentative beginnings in Paris, everyone already liked her.
Oh,
the Nancy Wake charm, because none of them were into the Bible over there.
No.
I can tell you. The French are like, Bible be gone.
Plus, she's got a baguette and a croissant.
Because there was something about Nancy's exuberant knockabout charm that somehow fitted in perfectly with that part of the French character.
There you go.
That has that whole joie de vivre kind of thing, that joy of life.
Yeah.
So she fit right in because the French were used to sort of English-speaking people coming over, mostly from England probably, and being a little bit snooty.
Inglaterra.
Yes.
They say England in Italian.
Well done. But that's not how they said it in France.
No.
Unless they were Italians in France, which they weren't. And so they were used to sort of the snooty English coming over,
Yeah.
broad generalisation, but in general, coming over and being a little bit like, the
Where's
French.
the tea?
Yeah. We don't want anything to do with the French.
Yeah.
And they'd sort of pick on everything that was stereotypically French.
Oh, yeah.
And they'd just sort of stick to their own, I'm just going to hang out with other people that speak English. Whereas Nancy's come in, she's just thrown herself in the deep end. She hardly spoke any French, but she got a book, French for Tourists, and she picked up the basic words and just threw herself in.
Where?
And just slowly started to pick up. So she's like, I'm not going to just speak to English people.
Je m'appelle.
And
See, I know some.
you do. And that's basically how she started.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, you know what, Nancy Wake? You're all right.
Yeah.
You're très bien.
What does that mean?
Very good.
Oh, I see.
And her favourite thing was that they called her Nancy.
Nancy.
Hello, Nancy. Bonjour, Nancy. And she's like, this is the greatest place on earth. Bonjour, Nancy. And they also, her other favourite thing, which is very common with people learning other languages, was saying swear words. In French. She liked doing it. And
Do we get to learn them?
And she found that French people also thought it was hilarious when she did it. French people were like, say the words. And she's like, bloody mad. Sorry to all the French Yonkie.
What does that mean?
It's the it's
You
one
say
of the swears.
mad?
No. Mad. Mad.
Which one
So
is it?
again, I apologise to all the French speaking Yonkie doodlers.
Is that the
We do have some
the S word?
I can't confirm
I think
or deny.
it's
I don't want to
kind
be
of similar to the Italian.
I don't. Yeah, there's a lot of crossover.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be teaching swear words to any of the young and impressionable Yonkie doodlers out there.
You can't confirm or deny.
But again, we do have listeners, Yonkie doodlers in France.
Yeah.
Apologies for swearing.
We
on
do?
it.
Straight up?
Yes,
From Francia?
We've racked up a few listens. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's the home of France's own Nancy Wake.
Nancy.
So they're all very interested to hear about her life and times. But that is all the time we've got. We've dropped the the M bomb.
Yeah. I see.
In a French way, and I apologize again. Look, I apologize. I probably will have to put an explicit warning.
I fell off my chair.
In French. You got attacked by gravity. I spent far too long in my mind cinema. It was we learned some stuff, but now we've made it to France, and any Nancy. You know what rhymes with France? Nance. You know what? Nancy just got Francey. That's what happened in this episode.
Fancy Nancy gets Francey.
Fancy Nancy Fancy Nancy just got Francey. The wrap up writes itself, doesn't it? But thank you so much for joining us as Nancy Wake makes it to yet another country.
You gotta like Nancy.
Nancy. Nancy Wake. Where Nancy Wake? Say the swear words, Nancy. Why don't you say them for me? You going to say the swear words?
I forgot it.
Oh, Nancy, why don't you do them?
It was
Oh, come on, Nancy.
It sounded like mad.
Oh, you're making me mad, Nancy. You're making me mad when you don't say the swear words for me. But it's probably good because this is a family-friendly podcast, even in Francais. And we don't want to upset all the French Yonkie doodlers. Oh, Nancy. Oh, Nancy, have you seen that new Russell Crowe Pigeon movie?
No.
It's called Egyptians on Nancy Wake. It stars Russell Crowe Pigeon. You should see it. Anyway. I better get out of here. I can't stop talking like this. So join us next time for another fascinating episode of Yonks Ago. Oui. Merde. Oh.